Hello everybody, and welcome to Water Bottle. And welcome to Cactus City. I'm Jackson Inglis, and today we're going to look at our first album review on Cactus City. Today is a review of Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster. This was released on November 18th, 2009, and is 34 minutes or 84 and a half minutes, depending on which version you listen to. This album is a reissue of The Fame, which is Gaga's debut studio album from a year prior. The Fame Monster is actually an EP that has 8 new songs on it that were not on The Fame. And there's 2 versions actually. The more common version is actually the deluxe edition double album, 2 discs. The first disc is the 8 new tracks, and then the second disc is just The Fame, the same track list and everything, it's just The Fame. This review is just on the standalone EP, which is just the 8 new songs. We're gonna go into that right now. The album, The Fame Monster, is genre-wise is mostly kind of electro pop, I would say. But has a lot of influences, at least it claims to have influences from synth pop from the 80s and even 70s, and what sounds like 1990s Eurodance. I mean, some of the songs, you got the opener Bad Romance, which is very Madonna inspired, I can tell. You definitely get that 80s wave, but you also have, when I say 90s Eurodance, I have stuff like the track Monster or So Happy I Could Die, which sound like Eiffel 65 B-sides, strangely, which leads into the production on this record. It is really good, really clean, very smooth. I like it a little better than The Fame because The Fame was a really good record, but most of the songs felt production-wise and with this use of auto-tune and stuff like that, it sounded like basically songs you would basically hear at a nightclub, and that's really it. The Fame Monster, these songs feel like full-on radio singles, which is really nice. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna reference the first 2 tracks here, the opening 2, Bad Romance and Alejandro. Both of these songs have a great chorus, great hooks, brilliant sounding production, crystal clear. They sound a lot different from The Fame, which is on The Fame, Gaga uses quite a bit of auto-tune, not to the extent of someone like maybe Katy Perry or whatever, but her voice doesn't sound so as natural on that record as it does on this one. There's still, I can tell, a lot of electronic effects on this record, but overall Lady Gaga's voice sounds a lot more natural on The Fame Monster as opposed to The Fame. And then we also get into the tracks Monster and Speechless, which lyric-wise are actually pretty personal songs for Gaga. I mentioned Monster in that it sounds like a 90s European pop song. But lyrically, it's actually rather dark. It's about Lady Gaga, how she lost her virginity at age 17, and she didn't like it at all. Now, she wasn't raped or anything. It was totally consensual, but she just wasn't really in the moment at the time. She remembers, and she stated that ever since then, she's always felt at least until her music career boomed, she's always felt very uncomfortable about stuff like sex or romance. Judging by her lyrics on her music, her stage performances, and album artwork, it's pretty obvious that she's obviously since moved on from that. And then Speechless is probably the most unique track on the record. It's basically about Lady Gaga's father, who went to undergo open heart surgery, and basically it's a piano guitar pop ballad. A lot of people say it sounds similar to the stuff Queen has made, And I listened to it, and yeah, it does kind of sound a bit like a Queen song, I would say. At first, I didn't really like the song Speechless. It had to grow on me a bit, but once it did grow on me, I found out that it was really one of my favorite songs from the Fame Monster. Especially with the song that comes after it, I got Dance in the Dark, which is definitely the most original Fame sounding song. That song is the only song in here that could have fit on the Fame and blended in with that kind of stuff. It has that nightclub edge to it, but it's still really enjoyable. You also got Telephone, which features Beyonce. I'm not entirely sure why Beyonce was on this. I mean, she's not bad on here, but like I feel like the verses that she gives out could have easily been done by Gaga, and it would have been fine. Like no one would have like really missed her. She doesn't really offer anything new or different. And then like I mentioned So Happy I Could Die, which is like about like alcohol addiction, surprisingly. And then like the album closer, Teeth, is what a lot of people say is the worst song on the album, and I would kind of agree. It's definitely grown on me a bit since when I first heard it. It is not really a bad song at all, but like it just does not feel like a closing number. Like if you listen to it on its own, then it's a fine song. But if you listen to it in the context of the album, like in the order, having it as the very last thing doesn't really feel like an epic ending, or it doesn't feel like it's close. It just feels like the album kind of stops and then just kind of ends, depending on which version you listen to. Because like if you have this standard CD, no matter what, then yeah, that's how it ends. But if you buy the album digitally on iTunes, which is what I did, you actually get one bonus track, which is a remix of Bad Romance, which I think is really cool. Not as good as the original Bad Romance, but I think it's a good song, actually, cool remix, and I like it better as a closer than Teeth, I would say. Also, another thing that makes this album kind of interesting is that there's kind of a concept over it. It's not really a concept album in the same way that like Dark Side of the Moon or 1,000 Suns is, or American Idiot is. But there is kind of like a theme to every song, and that theme is that every song on here is a representation of a certain fear or fear monster. Like, for example, let's start with in order. We got Bad Romance, which is the fear of love monster. I got Alejandro, which is the fear of men. Monster is the fear of sex. Speechless is the fear of death, I believe. And then like the other 4 tracks, you got Dance in the Dark, which is the fear of judgment. Telephone is fear of suffocation. So Happy I Could Die is fear of alcohol or addiction, or both. And then Teeth is fear of truth. It kind of makes the album not really deeper, but it makes it a little more interesting and not just saying, oh, these are just 8 extra songs for a reissue of a popular album. It actually gives us this album, even just like the standalone EP, some kind of like a reason to exist other than just being no good songs. Overall, I say I really, really like the Fame Monster. It's not as long as the Fame. It's only 8 songs. It's only an EP, but like this is proof that EPs, like standalone EPs, can be just as good as albums. I mean, it's 34 minutes long anyway, so like it might as well be as long as like their standard like pop album anyway. It's not that much shorter. I mean, heck, it's longer than some of the punk rock albums from the early 80s. Those things are like 20 minutes long. And like I said, the production on this thing is really good. I like the way it sounds. I like this a lot better than the Fame. I still like the Fame a lot, but I think this is better because like this one feels like it has more depth to it actually, and more kind of reasoning. As where the Fame is basically just like a collection of like nightclub songs that you would hear. Alright, so basically seeing how this is my first review, I figured I might as well go and explain to you my grading system. It's basic, very simple, nothing complex. It's basically A, B, C, D, or F. There's no in between, no A plus, no B minus, D plus, nothing like that. It's just A, B, C, D, F, and basically we'll start at the bottom. F is the absolute worst you can be. F is just, terrible. Get out of my face, never want to hear it ever again. D is, pretty bad, but like not bad enough for an F. But D is just like, wow, this is just really bad. C is like, okay, it's good. It's definitely not bad, but not really good either. It's kind of like mediocre in the middle. You can't get mad at it. You can't really get excited for it either. B is really good. B is like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. I'm really enjoying this. This is very satisfying, and I will want to come back to this. And then A is obviously, this is freaking amazing. This is one of my favorite albums, period. I love everything on this here. Fame Monster, like I said before, is more of a B. It's a B. It's not quite an A, because like I don't like love every song on here. Like I said, Teeth is kind of underwhelming as a closing track at least, and like Beyonce on Telephone is kind of useless. I mean, she's good, but she doesn't really serve her purpose. So yeah, Fame Monster definitely B. I will come back. By the way, that grading scale is for everything, not just me. It's for movies too, and like there's like video games or TV shows. So I will come back to you guys maybe next time with another review on something. It could be another Bionicle collection update. It could be another water bottle, like that. Water bottle. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and join Cactus City. Watch our podcast episodes. Trust me, you will not regret it.